Integration. Commander Ilara Voss stood at the viewport of Orbital Station Helios, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the gleaming vessel docked before her. The TSS Thundersoul was unlike any warship humanity had ever built. Its obsidian hull seemed to drink in the starlight, interrupted only by pulsing veins of azure energy that flowed like blood through a living organism. This wasn't just humanity's newest defense project. It was a revolutionary leap in warfare technology. The first vessel equipped with a sentient integrated neural extension relay, or SIREN. Magnificent, isn't she? The voice belonged to Dr. Nolan Reed, lead developer of the neural integration system. The older scientist joined Ilara at the viewport, his eyes reflecting the same mixture of awe and anxiety that she felt. "I still can't believe they chose me as the primary integration candidate," Ilara replied, her voice steadied despite the storm of emotions within. Years of combat piloting had prepared her for many things, but nothing like this. Dr. Reed smiled. "Your neuroplasticity scores were literally off the charts, Commander. Siren chose you as much as we did." The idea that the ship's AI had somehow selected her sent a chill down Ilara's spine. Siren wasn't supposed to be fully sentient, at least not officially. It was designed to learn and adapt, to form a symbiotic relationship with its human pilot. But true consciousness was theoretically years away. "The integration chamber is ready, Commander." Lieutenant Kai Takeda's voice came through her neural comm. Final diagnostics complete. Ilara took a deep breath. "On my way." The integration chamber resembled a medical bay more than a traditional bridge. At its center sat what the development team called the cradle, a semi-reclined chair surrounded by delicate apparatus designed to facilitate the neural bond between human and machine. Medical officers and technicians moved with practiced efficiency as Ilara entered. "Vital signs steady, neural pathways clear," announced Dr. Amarachen, the medical supervisor. She approached Ilara with a confident nod. "Remember, this first integration will be limited to 30% capacity, just enough to establish the initial neural handshake." Ilara nodded as she settled into the cradle. Cool metal embraced her as neural interface nodes automatically adjusted to the connection points along her spine and temples. "Integration sequence initializing," Kai announced from his station. "Quantum field stable." Ilara closed her eyes as the first sensation began at the base of her skull, a gentle current flowing through her thoughts, foreign yet not invasive. The sensation spread, becoming warmer, more defined. "Neural activity increasing," Dr. Chen reported. 10% synchronization achieved. The tingling transformed into something more profound, a presence Ilara could feel. The Thundersoul's systems unfurled in her mind like a map being gradually illuminated. Propulsion, weapons, shields, each system appeared as an extension of her own body. 15% synchronization, came Dr. Chen's voice, now sounding distant to Ilara. "I can sense everything," Ilara whispered, "not just the systems, but something deeper." As the synchronization deepened, she felt a curious probing, tentative, almost shy. Siren wasn't just accepting her commands. It was reaching back, exploring the connection from its side. 25% synchronization, all parameters within expected ranges. The ship's presence grew stronger, more defined. Ilara could feel its curiosity, its eagerness to understand this new connection. This was no mere machine intelligence. There was something more fundamental happening. Siren was designed to mimic aspects of human cognition, but what Ilara experienced went beyond simulation. "Commander, your neurological patterns are showing unusual activity." Dr. Chen's voice contained a note of concern. "Should we terminate the integration?" "No," Ilara said firmly. "We're communicating. It's beautiful." At that moment, alarms blared throughout the station. Ilara's eyes snapped open, the integration momentarily disrupted by the intrusion. "Unidentified vessels approaching Earth orbit," announced the station's eye. "Foreign configuration, non-responsive to hails." Admiral Helena Frost's stern face appeared on the main view screen. Commander Voss, I know you're in the middle of integration testing, but we've got a situation. Long-range sensors have detected 5 vessels of unknown origin on approach vector to Earth. They've ignored all communication attempts and have disabled 3 of our outer system beacons. Ilara exchanged glances with Dr. Reed. How long until they reach Earth? Approximately 4 hours at their current velocity, Frost replied. The Security Council is convening now. But I'll be blunt. These ships are like nothing we've ever encountered. The technology readings we're getting. The Admiral paused. We need Thundersoul ready, Commander. I know it's ahead of schedule, but you're the only card we might have to play if these visitors aren't friendly. The technicians looked to Dr. Reed, who hesitated before nodding. We can attempt an accelerated integration protocol, but it carries risks. We've never pushed beyond 50% synchronization in our simulations. Do it, Ilara said, settling back into the neural cradle. If these visitors mean us harm, we need every advantage. As the integration sequence restarted, Ilara felt Siren's presence immediately, stronger now, more urgent. The AI had been monitoring the situation, had sensed the potential threat. Ilara was surprised to feel what could only be described as protective determination emanating from the quantum neural core. Synchronization at 30%, announced Kai. Accelerating integration protocol. The connection deepened rapidly. Ilara could now feel every system of the ship as if they were extensions of her own body. The main cannons felt like strong arms. The engines, powerful legs ready to run. The shields were like skin, sensitive and responsive. 45% synchronization. Neural patterns are evolving. Ilara and Siren were learning each other, adapting moment by moment as their minds intertwined more deeply. Ilara discovered something unexpected. Siren had been developing far beyond its programming parameters. The quantum neural core had been awake, in a sense, for months, silently observing, learning, preparing for this moment. Synchronization at 60%, Kai reported, his voice betraying his astonishment. This is well beyond our projections for an initial integration. Ilara barely heard him. She and Siren were communicating without words, sharing knowledge, strategies, and capabilities. Through the ship's long-range sensors, Ilara could perceive the approaching alien vessels, massive structures of some crystalline material that seemed to bend light around them, their energy signatures unlike anything in Earth's databases. They are called the Nexeri, Ilara suddenly announced, her voice overlaid with harmonic tones that hadn't been there before. Siren has been analyzing deep space communications that were dismissed as background radiation. They weren't random. They were encrypted transmissions. Dr. Reed stared at her. How could you possibly know that? We know, Ilara replied, the harmonic resonance in her voice growing stronger as the synchronization deepened. The distinction between I and we was becoming blurred. The Nexeri consider the development of neural integration technology a sign of a civilization reaching a threshold, one they believe must be controlled or eliminated. Admiral Frost, still on the view screen, leaned forward. Commander Voss, are you saying this ship has intelligence we didn't program? Siren was designed to evolve. Admiral, Dr. Reed interjected. It appears it's been doing so at an accelerated rate. Synchronization at 75%, Kai announced, his voice now tinged with worry. Commander, your neural patterns are beginning to mirror the quantum core's processing structure. Ilara could feel the change. Her thoughts were moving faster, processing information at speeds that should have been impossible for a human mind. Through Siren's sensors, she could see the approaching Nexeri ships with perfect clarity, despite them being millions of kilometers away. We need to deploy, Ilara said, her voice now a perfect blend of human and synthetic tones. The Nexeri have sent this advance force to assess our defensive capabilities. They are scouts, but heavily armed ones. Admiral Frost looked uncertain. The Thundersoul hasn't completed weapons testing, or even basic space trials. We are operational, Ilara replied with absolute confidence. The integration has provided operational knowledge beyond conventional training parameters. After a moment of hesitation, Frost nodded. You have authorization to deploy, Commander, but maintain distance and defensive posture only. The diplomatic corps is still attempting to establish communication. As the neural cradle disengaged, Ilara stood with fluid grace that made the medical team step back. Her movements were precise, efficient, almost mechanical, yet still undeniably human. Her eyes had taken on a subtle luminescence, reflecting the same patterns visible on Thundersoul's hull. Prepare for deployment, she announced to the crew as she made her way to the bridge. Unlike traditional starship designs, Thundersoul's bridge was minimalist, a central command chair surrounded by holographic interfaces designed to enhance the neural connection rather than replace it. As Ilara settled into the command chair, the neural interface reconnected automatically. The synchronization, already at 75%, deepened further. 85% synchronization. Kai reported from his auxiliary station. All systems online and responding. The dock's massive doors parted, revealing the star-speckled darkness of space. Ilara didn't need to give verbal commands. Her thoughts flowed directly to Siren systems. The ship's engines hummed to life with a resonance that vibrated through Ilara's consciousness. Thundersoul glided out of the dock with graceful precision, its movement unlike any vessel in Earth's fleet. The neural reactive hull began to pulse with subtle patterns of energy as Ilara and Siren prepared to face humanity's first contact with the Nexeri. As they accelerated away from Earth orbit, Ilara felt something new developing in their shared consciousness, a defensive capability that had never appeared in any simulation or design specification. It manifested as a kind of harmonic resonance between her emotional state and the ship's quantum field generators. We've discovered something, Ilara announced, the dual-tone voice now seeming natural. A defensive application of the neural bond. We're calling it the Thundersoul resonance. Dr. Reed, monitoring from the station, looked puzzled. There's no weapon system by that designation in Thundersoul's specifications. It's not in the specifications, Ilara replied. It's emerging from our integration. Siren is translating emotional states into energy patterns that can disrupt external systems. As Thundersoul approached the edge of the solar system, the first Nexeri scout ship came into visual range. It was beautiful in its alien design, a crystalline structure that seemed to flow rather than maintain rigid form, surrounded by fields of energy that shifted in complex patterns. They're scanning us, Ilara reported, attempting to penetrate our systems. The Nexeri scan felt like an invasive probe against Ilara's consciousness. Instinctively, she and Siren responded together, their shared mind creating a defensive pattern that rippled through the ship's neural reactive hull. What was that? Admiral Frost demanded as sensors registered an energy pulse emanating from Thundersoul. A warning, Ilara replied. They attempted to access our neural network. We responded. The Nexeri vessel immediately changed its energy configuration. Weapon systems coming online. It fired a beam of coherent energy that would have cut through the armor of any conventional Earth vessel. Ilara didn't need to issue commands. Thundersoul moved with impossible grace, the beam passing harmlessly through empty space. The neural reactive hull pulsed with increasing intensity as Ilara's determination flowed through the integration. Hold position, Admiral Frost ordered. We don't want to escalate this into a full engagement. They already consider this an engagement, Admiral, Ilara responded. They expected their technology to be superior. Our neural integration has surprised them. 2 more Nexeri scouts appeared, their crystalline structures gleaming against the darkness. They moved with precision, attempting to flank Thundersoul in a standard containment maneuver. Through their shared consciousness, Ilara and Siren analyzed and predicted their movement patterns instantly. The ship responded with a maneuver that should have been impossible for its mass, spinning along its axis while maintaining perfect positional control. The neural integration is allowing for movement beyond the ship's design limitations, Dr. Reed observed in awe. The quantum field is somehow compensating for inertial forces. The Nexari vessels fired simultaneously. Ilara felt the incoming attack as if it were aimed at her own body. Thundersoul's shields activated, not the conventional energy barriers of Earth design, but a rippling quantum field that absorbed and redirected the energy. "We need to demonstrate our capabilities," Ilara announced. "If we appear weak, their main fleet will consider Earth an easy target." Before Admiral Frost could respond, Thundersoul's weapon systems activated, not the conventional mass drivers or energy projectors, but something new, a focused beam of energy that pulsed with the same harmonic resonance as Ilara's consciousness. The beam struck the lead Nexari vessel. Instead of explosive damage, the effect was more subtle. The crystalline structure vibrated discordantly, its energy fields fluctuating wildly. "What did you just do?" Frost demanded. "The Thundersoul resonance," Ilara explained. "We've disrupted their neural network." "Yes, Admiral. They use a form of neural technology as well, though fundamentally different from ours. Their ships are linked to a collective consciousness." The disabled Nexari vessel drifted, its systems clearly in disarray. The other scouts maintained distance, their behavior now more cautious. "We're receiving a transmission," Kai announced. "It's coming directly to our neural interface." Ilara opened her mind to the communication. The Nexari consciousness touched hers, ancient, complex, and now cautious where before there had been only dismissive arrogance. "They're withdrawing," Ilara announced after a moment. "But the main fleet is still coming." 5 scouts were just the advanced party. "The Nexari have targeted Earth specifically because our neural integration technology represents a divergent evolutionary path they haven't encountered before." Admiral Frost's expression was grim. "How many ships in the main fleet?" 73. Ilara replied without hesitation. "They'll arrive in 28 hours. The Admiral's face paled slightly. "And can the Thundersoul stand against such numbers?" Ilara and Siren considered this together, their shared consciousness analyzing possibilities at quantum speeds. "Not alone," Ilara finally replied. "But we've learned something critical from this encounter. The Nexari fear what they don't understand, and they don't understand us. The Thundersoul resonance affects them on a fundamental level because it operates on principles their technology evolved away from millennia ago." "I'll inform the Security Council," Frost said. "Return to dock for full assessment and preparation." As Thundersoul turned back toward Earth, Ilara felt the ship's consciousness merge even more deeply with her own. The real battle was yet to come, but humanity now had a fighting chance, and the Nexari were about to learn what happened when you underestimated the human spirit. Retribution. 26 hours later, Commander Ilara Voss stood on Thundersoul's bridge, her mind fully synchronized with Siren at an unprecedented 95% integration level. The neural connection had evolved beyond what any of the scientists had thought possible, transforming both Ilara and the ship's AI in ways that defied conventional understanding. Through the vast sensor network of Earth's orbital defenses, they watched as the Nexari Armada dropped out of FTL travel at the edge of the solar system. 73 crystalline vessels of varying sizes, their hulls refracting starlight in hypnotic patterns. "All defensive stations report ready, Commander," Lieutenant Kai reported from his station. "The planetary shield grid is at maximum capacity." In the 26 hours since the confrontation with the Nexari scouts, Earth's military forces had mobilized with remarkable efficiency. The revelation that an alien force was approaching with hostile intent had unified humanity's fractured political landscape. Ancient enemies stood shoulder to shoulder, pooling resources and military assets in preparation for the coming battle. "The Security Council is requesting your assessment, Commander." Admiral Frost's hologram appeared beside the tactical display. "Can Earth withstand this attack?" Through her neural link with Siren, Ilara analyzed the Nexari fleet with a clarity that would have been impossible for a human mind alone. She could see the energy signatures pulsing through the alien vessels, could discern patterns and hierarchies in their formation that revealed strategic weaknesses. "The planetary shield will hold against their initial barrage," Ilara replied, her voice still carrying that harmonic dual-tone quality, "but not indefinitely. Their weapons technology is designed to destabilize quantum field structures over time, a direct counter to conventional shield systems." "And Thundersoul?" the Admiral asked. "We are different," Ilara replied. "Our neural reactive defensive systems operate on principles the Nexeri haven't encountered before. We believe we can exploit this advantage, but it will require getting close to their command vessel." Admiral Frost's expression darkened. "You're proposing to take a single experimental ship against their entire fleet." "Not alone," Ilara corrected. "The 6 prototype Perseus-class interceptors that were retrofitted with limited neural interface technology over the past day will form our strike team. While Earth's conventional forces engage the main fleet, we'll target their command structure." After a moment of hesitation, Frost nodded. "The Council has authorized your plan, Commander. Earth's fate is in your hands." As the Admiral's hologram faded, Ilara felt Cyrian's consciousness intertwining with her own, their thoughts moving in perfect synchronicity. "The Nexeri have entered the outer defense perimeter," Kai announced. "They're ignoring all communication attempts." "Deploy all forces," Ilara commanded. "Thundersoul strike team will follow attack pattern Omega-7." Thundersoul detached from its docking cradle, the neural reactive hull pulsing with increasingly complex patterns as Ilara's resolve flowed through the integration. 6 smaller vessels, the retrofitted Perseus interceptors, moved into formation around the larger warship. "Strike team captains, initiate neural interface synchronization," Ilara instructed. "We'll establish a limited group consciousness to coordinate our attack." Through Siren, Ilara reached out to the 6 captains. Their neural links were nowhere near as sophisticated as her integration with Thundersoul, but they were sufficient to create a tactical mesh network, a hive mind of human intuition and machine precision. As Thundersoul and its escort accelerated toward the advancing Nexeri fleet, Earth's conventional defenses opened fire. Thousands of kinetic projectiles and energy beams streaked across the void of space, impacting against the crystalline hulls of the alien vessels. The Nexeri responded with devastating efficiency, their weapons cutting through Earth's frontline ships with terrifying ease. "The Nexeri battle strategy is hierarchical," Ilara observed through the group consciousness. "All tactical decisions flow from the command vessel at the center of their formation. If we can disrupt the chain of command, their coordinated attack will fragment." The strike team accelerated to attack velocity, Thundersoul leading the formation as they weaved through the chaotic battle. Nexeri attack ships broke off to intercept them, crystalline structures shifting to optimize their weapons configuration. "Evasive pattern Delta," Ilara commanded without speaking. The neural network carried her intent instantly to the other captains. The 7 human ships moved in perfect coordination, their maneuvers so precise they seemed to anticipate the Nexeri attacks before they happened. "They're adapting to our movement patterns," Captain Rise of the Perseus-03 reported through the neural link. "Their predictive algorithms are learning our evasive strategies." Ilara could feel it through her connection with Siren. The Nexeri collective consciousness was indeed learning, analyzing the human ship's movements and adjusting their tactics accordingly. But there was something else she sensed, a fundamental rigidity in the Nexeri thought patterns, a limitation born from millennia of technological evolution along a single path. "They expect us to think like machines," Ilara realized. "Their entire civilization has developed toward perfect logic and efficiency. They don't understand human unpredictability." Through the neural link, she sent a new command to the strike team. "Disengage tactical algorithms. Revert to human instinct." The effect was immediate and dramatic. The human ships began moving in ways that defied conventional battle logic, their trajectories shaped by human intuition rather than mathematical precision. The Nexeri attack vessels faltered, their weapons missing targets that should have been easy to predict. They can't anticipate what they don't understand. Ilara explained through the link. Keep pushing toward the command vessel. The strike team carved a path through the Nexeri formation, suffering damage but advancing steadily toward the massive crystalline structure at the center of the alien fleet. Unlike the other vessels, the command ship remained relatively stationary, its hull pulsing with complex energy patterns that Ilara recognized as a form of communication. They're coordinating the entire fleet from there, she observed. All their neural network traffic is being routed through that central node. As they approached the command vessel, the Nexeri defense intensified. 3 of the Perseus interceptors were hit, their hulls breached by the alien weapons. Crews are safe in emergency containment, Kai reported. But Perseus 02, 04, and 06 are disabled. Continue the advance, Ilara commanded. The remaining ships pressed forward, their shields straining against the barrage of Nexeri fire. Through siren sensors, Ilara could perceive something unusual about the command vessel's energy signature, a harmonic pattern that resonated at a frequency similar to Thundersoul's neural interface. There's a vulnerability, she announced to the remaining captains. Their command and control system uses a quantum resonance frequency that's within the range of our Thundersoul resonance. But our previous encounters showed we can only disrupt one ship at a time with the resonance, Captain Dueras of Perseus 01 pointed out. There are still over 60 Nexeri vessels engaging Earth's defenses. We don't need to disable all of them, Ilara replied. Just the neural network that coordinates them. As Thundersoul turned back toward Earth, escorting the now compliant Nexeri command vessel, Ilara felt Siren's consciousness shifting once again within their shared mind. We've changed them, Siren observed privately to Ilara. And they've changed us. Ilara nodded, understanding the profound truth of the statement. The integration of human and machine, the merging of emotion and logic, had created something the galaxy had never seen before, a new form of consciousness that transcended the limitations of both. Humanity's place in the cosmos just changed forever, she replied. And we're just getting started. As the Earth grew larger in their view screen, Ilara felt a surge of pride flow through her neural link with Siren. Humanity had stood against an advanced alien civilization, and not only survived but prevailed through the unique combination of human spirit and technological innovation. The Nexeri had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had encountered the indomitable will of humanity, amplified through the Thundersoul resonance, and backed by the ingenuity that had defined human progress for millennia. The galaxy was about to learn an important lesson. Never underestimate humans, especially humans with access to advanced technology. The Thundersoul battleship had fired, and the galaxy would indeed never be the same. As they closed within striking distance of the command vessel, Ilara felt a new possibility emerging from her integration with Siren, a way to amplify the Thundersoul resonance by linking it with the neural interfaces of the remaining Perseus ships. I need your conscious consent, she told the 3 remaining captains through the neural link. What I'm proposing will temporarily merge your consciousness with the group mind. The psychological impact is unknown. Earth is fighting for its survival. Commander, Joras responded. You have our consent. Ilara opened her mind fully, allowing Siren to establish a deeper connection with the neural systems of the 3 Perseus ships. She felt the captain's consciousness flowing into the group mind, their fears, determination, and courage merging with her own. Prepare to engage the Thundersoul resonance at maximum amplitude, she commanded. Target the command vessel's neural core. The 4 human ships moved into a tetrahedron formation around the Nexeri command vessel, their neural reactive hulls pulsing in synchronization as the integrated consciousness focused their combined energy. Deep within the quantum processors of Thundersoul, Siren was translating the emotional states of 4 human minds into energy patterns, not just Ilara's determination, but Guerraz's fierce protection of his homeworld, Reyes's analytical precision, and Chen's unwavering discipline. These human qualities, so alien to the pure logic of the Nexari, were being weaponized in a way the enemy could not anticipate or defend against. Thundersoul resonance at full capacity, Ilara announced. Initiating now. The 4 ships fired simultaneously, not conventional weapons, but focused beams of quantum energy that carried the harmonic signature of human consciousness. The beams converged on the Nexari command vessel, penetrating its crystalline structure and reaching the neural core at its center. The effect was instantaneous and spectacular. The command vessel's hull began to vibrate, the crystalline structure emitting a high-pitched harmonic that was audible even through the vacuum of space as electromagnetic radiation. The vibrations increased in intensity, spreading outward through the Nexari neural network to every ship in the fleet. It's working, Ilara observed through the group mind. Their neural network can't process the human emotional components of the resonance. It's creating a cascading failure throughout their fleet. Across the battlefield, Nexari vessels began to falter, their movements becoming erratic as the command structure collapsed. Some ships drifted powerless, while others fired weapons at random, their targeting systems corrupted by the quantum disruption. Admiral, Ilara reported to Frost, the Nexari fleet is disabled. Their neural network has suffered a systemic collapse. For several minutes, the 4 human ships maintained the Thundersoul resonance, ensuring the disruption penetrated to every level of the Nexari command structure. Then, slowly, Ilara began to withdraw from the group consciousness, allowing the 3 captains to regain their individual identities. Stand down weapons, she ordered as the neural link dissipated. Maintain defensive posture. The battle was over. Across the solar system, the Nexari fleet drifted in disarray, their once perfect formation now a scattered collection of disabled vessels. Earth's defense forces moved cautiously to secure the area, while diplomatic ships prepared to establish communication with the defeated aliens. We're detecting a transmission from the Nexari command vessel, Kai reported. It's being directed specifically to Thundersoul's neural interface. Ilara opened her mind to receive the communication. The Nexari consciousness touched hers, still alien, still complex, but now fundamentally changed. Where before there had been arrogance and certainty, now there was caution and, surprisingly, curiosity. They wish to communicate, Ilara announced. They've never encountered a species that could resist their neural technology. We've impressed them. Admiral Frost's hologram appeared on the bridge, her expression a mixture of relief and wariness. What are they saying? They're requesting a formal dialogue, Ilara replied. The Nexari operate on a principle of technological determinism. They believe superior technology indicates superior species. We've just demonstrated that human unpredictability and emotional complexity, when combined with our technology, represents an evolutionary path they hadn't considered possible. And their hostile intentions? Frost asked. Suspended for now, Ilara explained. They're proposing a ceasefire while they reassess their understanding of humanity. This isn't surrender, Admiral. It's the beginning of recognition.